This message was composed on the basis of multiple ideas, which were interconnected for the purposes of social awareness in our lives today and tomorrow. To open up, the Reaper asked me how I felt about marauders, those on doomsday preppers, and this is what I have to say to him. I despise people like that. Dishonorable, distasteful, despicable, thieves, men and women without any respect for life or another person's dignity. I believe that each should prepare. I believe that a man should be capable and willing to work hard to achieve the things he wants in life, earn them honestly and with a good heart. I believe that a man should act with a moral ethic to provide for himself, and that he should be limited only by his willingness to work and by the sweat of his brow, as opposed to those of the dictations of another man. Me and mine have done what we can to provide for one another and will continue to do so. I don't say this to say that everyone should hold the same ideals that I do, but I can say that there is nothing wrong with working hard and working with an ethic to get the things you want and need. Marauding is never ethical. To prepare for the worst cases of these scenarios is just smart. It's the meat and potatoes of an efficient lifestyle, and preparing puts you in the best possible position for those natural disaster scenarios life can bring us. To be self-reliant, organized, and ready is to not have to rely on the crutch of someone else. When I think of someone who would readily take all of that on the sole premise that they choose not to do these things, to make these sacrifices for themselves, the line I've drawn against all men is that much easier to cross when it comes to them. I believe that while being considerate of their desperation, they are to be handled with a heavy hand, because they've chosen an evil route. These marauders show the world their ignorance and express the kind of negative sentiment those as preppers did not want to be known for. Preppers are already cast in a negative light, and despite this negative view, there is a clear and concise difference between people who prepare, who recognize that the blanket of security our government has provided for us is as much a crutch as it is a benefit, and between those who have forsaken any sense of humanity and goodwill only to rely on stealing. We recognize that to be self-sufficient is truly best, because should that blanket ever be snatched away from us, then we are not found wanting, and we are not without. These marauders, they are the worst. They are creatures best put down, as they are the excesses of our society that prey on the weak because they can. To me, that is just unacceptable. The Reaper also commented on people toughening up their mindsets and being just, or if we have to act out of normal behavior and become evil men, do the ends justify the means? First of all, I think acting on impulse without regards to the safety and well-being of others, as well as ourselves, is a bad idea, today or in tomorrow's world. When you carelessly handle yourself, you not only express that you do not care for your life, but when you involve someone else, you make that clear, distinctive message evident to them as well. I take my life very seriously. I take matters of respect very seriously. It's what is lacking in our world today. No one should have to deal with an inconsiderate person, or should be treated unfairly and without respect. Who in their right mind wants to feel that way? No one. Today, people are ready to fight for respect. That respect just expresses itself in different ways depending on where you've come up in the world or where you are now. Me? I believe in fighting. I believe in a good fight. And I believe in a fight that once over, no hard feelings exist. I've come up that way and will continue to live my life that way. I respected the men who have beaten me, and I've shown nothing but respect for the men who have been beaten by me. People want to be treated well, not treated like second-class citizen bullshit. People more so in tomorrow's world will demand respect and won't hesitate to enforce it if need be, especially if there was no one to stop them from executing this kind of force necessary for them to obtain it. Who wants to be shanked in the back for lack of a simple, "I'm sorry"? Who would want to be beaten about the head with some blunt instrument for lack of proof? Even today, people are becoming less and less inclined to trust, to show that respect, or step outside of their comfort zone and offer a helping hand because the name that is respect has been turned into a bad one. It's associated too often with weakness, and that's utterly ridiculous. I say, treat people well and treat them with respect. making the effort to build good habits of consideration, patience, compassion when necessary, empathy as well as sympathy, while remaining a thorough planner. Start now, and will develop into better tools and ideals tomorrow. As it is, we live in a dog-eat-dog world. A world where it's okay to step on the next man to get ahead. An unacceptable fashion of behavior. That base mentality is perpetuated within the media and through negative competition. It used to be that if a man fell down, his fellow man would pause to help him back up. It was just a good thing to do. That's what I'm going to do with my brothers and anyone who considers me a friend or family. They know in me they have an unrelenting rock of support, and best yet, they know that when I'm alone, I'll conduct myself the same when no one's watching. It's an even more desirable act when that man has fallen is your competition, because it brings respect back to competition, win or lose. Now, do the ends justify the means? I'll answer as best I can in saying that I believe in the adage that says, speak softly, yet carry a big stick. To me, that speaks of a person who is in line with good intentions, good ethics. He doesn't need to beat everyone down around him to get his point across, but if they won't let him speak, then he will if and when he has to. Saying that, if you listen closely, it means that you give someone the respect to hear them out in the first place. Your ears, your heart, your mind, and most importantly, your gut are open. I want nothing more than to cooperate. But if my hand is forced, and that means I've truly exhausted all means, then the hammer is going to fall, and it will fall hard. I believe in consideration. I believe in respect. And I believe in compassion. But if your arrogance or disrespect pushes me to the line that I've set for myself, and you clearly have no intentions of meeting me halfway, then you've crossed that line, and it is a fair line. Understand then, and know that you're the cause of your own pain. That said, the ends only justify the means when they are truly justified. And we as people, as human beings, know the difference between stepping over that line to meet an aggressor for the sake of sating our own proud need, versus standing our ground and giving every opportunity for an out before we engage conflict. Many of you out there will hear this and think, he's not going to make it. He's going to lower his guard in order to be nice. Sure, in some cases this will put me in a position I'd rather not be in. It has before, but I've weathered the storms and have always come out from underneath them. No worse for wear, or shaken from my path. I will not lose myself to the animal in order to sate a satisfaction that is base and without regard for the man that I am. Another element of degradation that has been glorified to ridiculous extents by the media and the weak-minded men in charge of this country today. We've in many cases forsaken our humanity in exchange for the sure win. The bells and whistles that come along with being declared the winner, which is no longer synonymous with the better man today. Do not confuse a buffer zone of safety and security, a healthy respect for the nasty nature of us human beings, for being weak. It's simply smart. We are animals, and our excesses are truly horrific. You'll be the same one thanking me when I've taken it upon myself to be patient enough for the both of us, and for eliminating conflict once you realize that you may have been wrong. Because today, we allow ourselves to be blinded by our own perspective, our own need to be right, because of the negative and false association of being a lesser man for admission to being wrong. But you will be behind me 100% when you see me put a man in his place when it finally has to happen. This isn't to say that I believe myself to be right and that my ground does not give, but it is to say that we need patience, we need understanding when dealing with one another, a willingness to see from another's perspective, or all this talk of preparedness and community is for nothing, because we would just dissolve to our base natures if we don't espouse those good things. So use good sense, use sound judgment, be fair, and always consider the fact that human life is precious, even when you have to extinguish it.